So what that actually means to begin with is it's paying attention to the actual hunger cues in your body, recognizing true hunger, recognizing true fullness, savoring the foods that you are eating, and having gratitude for the food in front of you. Now, this sounds really intuitive, but it's actually much more difficult than it sounds. You have to truly be able to trust those signals coming from your body and trust that you're actually recognizing them properly. And there's so many things that can confuse this, from social triggers when you're out with other friends, what they're eating, how much they're eating, where they go, what they do. Emotional triggers, things that are going on in your life that make you eat poor food choices. Stress, things that cause you to eat foods that you normally wouldn't eat. Then there's hormone triggers, things that can cause you to have crazy cravings that you would not normally have, and to eat at weird hours, and to just not follow a normal routine. And then there's habitual hunger, where you eat just because you always eat at that time. And again, that's not listening to your body. Way easier said than done to just feel like you're eating when you're hungry, to feel like you're following what your body's telling you to do, but really it's one of those other things. It's a social trigger, it's an emotional trigger, it's stress related, it's hormone related, it's habitual eating. It's so easy to think that you're truly hungry when you're not really. So one of the tips that I have to help you truly get back to intuitive eating, actually listening to your body and actually fueling your body properly, is number one, you have to stop labeling food as good or bad and start focusing on, is it providing real nourishment? If it's made in a factory, it's probably not providing any real nourishment. If it's, a junk food of any kind or a fake food of any kind, it's probably not providing any real nutrition. If it's providing real nutrition, it's probably beneficial for your body and it's okay to eat. And the more you focus on the foods that actually give you real, true nourishment, the less you even have to worry about tracking it all, because it's real nutrition, it's real food. So you don't have to worry about overeating it. Have you ever heard of anyone overeating on lettuce or overeating on any kind of vegetable for that matter? It really doesn't happen because your body understands the signals that come from it. So the more real food you can eat, the less you have to stress about how much and when and where and all of those other details. You can just eat until you're satisfied. Number two is avoid cheat meals if you are the kind of person who gets totally derailed by them. If you have one cheat meal and then all of a sudden you're like, well, forget it, I'm off my diet, I guess I'll start over again next week, then don't even have the cheat. Find a different kind of either reward or activity than eating so that you're not triggered by those cheat foods. Look for other activities such as exercise or hanging out with friends or dancing or singing or a craft or whatever that looks like. Find another activity that doesn't involve food that you can turn to when you've got those emotional triggers, those social triggers, those stressors, whatever it is that's causing you to want to just eat everything in sight. Try to find a different activity. And number three is try to really pay attention to the things that are going on in your life when you're having those cravings or when you're off track. Pay attention to how you're feeling, what's going on, who's around you, what time of day is it, what time of the month is it, what time of the week is it. Try to figure out if there's any patterns, if there's a repetitive nature. Every time I do this thing, I crave junk food. Every time I'm at this place or I do this activity, this is when I go off track. The more you can establish what those patterns are, the more you can change those patterns. So that is intuitive eating in a nutshell. It's way harder than it sounds. It seems like you should be able to just listen to your body and eat foods that are good for you, but there's so many factors that play into it. So you really have to concentrate and figure out what those actual triggers are so that you can train yourself to actually pay attention to those triggers again. So thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you again in the future. Hit me up anytime if you ever have a question, and I would be happy to help you out or do another video answering your question. I'll see you on the next one. For the best nutrition and information about healing your own body, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every Tuesday. I'm Andrea McDonald, and I'm a certified nutrition coach helping you understand the scientific approach to eating to heal your own body.